Good morning, everyone. I am very happy to tell you today that I'm interviewing one of ACCA's members in Egypt who has a significant contribution in the community. He completed his ACCA qualification back in 2012 when there were only 14 members in Egypt, making him the 15th. Today, we'll discuss his journey, his career, his life learning in ACCA, and most importantly, his hobbies. Please join me in welcoming Andrew Ramses. Hello, Andrew.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
All good, thank you very much.
Great. How does it feel knowing that you're number 15 as an ACCA member in Egypt?
Actually, I knew this through you.
Through
I didn't know back then. I think there was a directory back then
Yes.
on the ACCA portal, and I used to see the members in Egypt, and I used to look forward to be one of these members in Egypt. So yeah, but I just knew this through you now.
Yes, 15, very lucky number.
Yes.
Tell me more about your background, your education, your university days, if you can give me more info about that.
Yes, when I look back like 20 years ago when I graduated from high school, and I joined the business school in Cairo University, and I can relate to many people who didn't choose this, right? So, this was the result of my grades, right? So as as most of the people would relate, high school grades would determine where to go, and I used to dream to be a doctor, actually, right? But I've gone all the way around, all the other way, and I've joined the business school in Cairo University in 2004, and I graduated in 2008. And then I started my career as an auditor back then. And as an auditor, I started working, as a junior auditor, and then I was introduced to some people who has the ACCA or has started the ACCA journey. And this is where I got introduced to the ACCA and started looking for being an ACCA member.
That's wonderful to hear. Yes, in the Egyptian community, it's either being a doctor or an engineer.
Exactly.
Those are the two main
Yes.
careers. It is the career in commerce and accounting and finance is unfortunately unheard of in schools.
And it has been very important, specifically in these days when we see the sustainability reporting, because some people would think that the sustainability is just an economic problem or operational problem, and we need to address this problem of the climate change.
Yes.
But sustainability reporting is on the rise now, and accountants, auditors has a lot to do related to this sustainability reporting. So it's not only a problem related to operationally or economic problem, but also it's a thing that the auditors and the accountants should be part of, specifically when it comes to the reporting of this sustainability issues in the financial statements. So even that, the auditors and the accountants has a role to play in addition, of course, to the operational teams and the other teams. So continuing on your point, it's very important now for the accountants, for the auditors to be aware of these issues, because we play a very big role.
Yes.
In these issues, and this highlights the importance of the accountants, of the auditors.
What made you choose commerce? You were originally wanted to be a doctor,
Yes.
but what made you shift?
The shift, in all honesty, and as I said, I can relate to many people who has done this or started this field, because this is where our grades has landed us, right? So this is what we started, and this is how I started this. But when I look in hindsight back 20 years ago, and if I have the choice at that time, I would choose this route. This route has given me a lot, and it has proven to be the best route for me, as if I was part of a bigger plan, or as if I was directed in this route.
True.
And when I look to, for example, my sister is a doctor now, and when I look to how she was studying in the medicine school and how she works right now, I'm confident that I would not be able to do this, and I would have been a very bad doctor actually. So yeah, so this is how I started, and but the experience that I've gained through this would make me choose this again.
Yes, I agree 100%. I myself actually was a medicine student, and I took all biology, chemistry, physics, and I took business as an optional paper. And I'm glad I did, because I got introduced to a whole different world that we've never heard of in our schools, in our universities, a whole different type of skills, types of knowledge that really opens up your mind. So commerce does, as a field, makes you think out of the box.
Exactly.
And I'm glad that I chose commerce, even though at the beginning I was not a good commerce student, but eventually when I got to know the field more, I was able to understand its significance.
Yes. I agree 100%. And we as an accountants, as an auditors, I think we have a very good chance of being integrated into the other departments in the company that, of course, that we work in, or if we serve other clients, right? So as an auditor or as an accountant, you need to have understanding of the whole operations of the company, whole operations of the entity that you're working in. You need to have a good communication with engineering. You need to have good communication with operation. You need to have good communication with controllership in different departments. So I think being as an auditor or being as an accountant has opened ways, or I would say has opened another channels of knowledge for us. Maybe if I was if I was a doctor, I would have only had one channel to focus on, but being as an auditor, it gives me, or an accountant gives me, a chances of being open to knowledge from different areas, and this has been a very good knowledge for me in the past 15 years.
And going back to ACCA, so you were introduced to ACCA when you were in Deloitte, is that correct?
Yes.
And what made you interested in ACCA, even though there were other qualifications, but what made you interested in ACCA and chose ACCA as your professional qualification?
Yes. Actually, back then when I joined Deloitte, I joined it in September 2008, and I remember that my first exam was June 2009. So the next setting, actually, I decided to pursue the ACCA qualification, and I think there were mainly two reasons. The first reason is the research that I've done on ACCA. I think ACCA is more related, or we can relate more to ACCA. For example, in the financial reporting, we depend on IFRS, and we had so many clients in IFRS, and or I would say the IFRS-like, right? So most of the countries, the accounting framework follow IFRS, or is a translation of the IFRS with some minor differences. So I think that made me choose ACCA, because I thought at that time that ACCA would be more suitable for my career, and it would give me more exposure to different clients in different countries. And even in Egypt at that time, our Egyptian accounting standards were very, very close to the IFRS. And of course, ACCA also provide with wide variety of topics, right? So it's not only about the financial reporting or auditing, but we have business, we have financial management, we have cost accounting, we have tax, right? With different frameworks. So the wide variety of the ACCA, was something that attracted me to this qualification. I think the second reason, and I think this was also as important as what the qualification offers, was I had a mentor at that time who was studying ACCA. He was a manager, and he was my mentor. And he was studying for ACCA, and he had, made a great accomplishment in ACCA. He was about to finish his ACCA, journey at that time. And as you said, it was, the community at that time was very small. So whenever you see a member that was, a great achievement, right?
Yes.
And a great role model to look for. And he introduced me to the qualification, and he helped me, understand what would be the requirements. How can I enroll in the qualification? How can I get the study text and the exam kit? So he has been a great enabler for me, and I think he was one of the reasons that I decided to pursue this, because he was a role model, and he was someone that I would like to look up to. And this is what I wanted to be like him.
Yes.
Yeah, so he was one of the main reasons why I decided to join ACCA. And I think now, if you think about it, for all the students, we have a big community now in Egypt. And I would encourage all the students to look for members and try to get some information about their experience, and try to have a mentor. Now it's more accessible than before. We have a lot of members, we have a big community, very respectful people in Egypt who are ACCA members or ACCA fellow. You can choose one of them, you can ask them for experience, for guidance, and you can be inspired by their journey, and you can start your journey right away.
Yes.
So I think these were the two main reasons why I choose ACCA, and as a journey for me.
A huge shout out to Andrew Ramses, mentor. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be having this interview today. And that's actually one of the reasons why we're having this video interview, because we would like the community, especially in Egypt, to hear from the members themselves, to hear about the journey from the members themselves. How did they study? What were their obstacles? How did it affect their lives even after the qualification? So that is the purpose of why we're having this video series, to have the people more informed about ACCA members, especially in the Egyptian community, and I'm very lucky to be sitting next to you.
My pleasure.
If you can tell me, what was ACCA like back then in 2012? How was it? How many papers, the exams? How did you study? Take me through the journey.
It's different than today, right? So today we have a lot of resources. So we have tuition providers. We have, it's, if you want to get your study text or your exam kit, this is very accessible right now. You have a lot of, like you said, we have a very big community now in Egypt. So there's a lot of people that you can ask and try to get their experience. This wasn't the case in 2009 when I started. Like you said, it was a very small community at that time. So we had to figure out what should we do, right? So it's at that time it went by trial and error, right? So we wanted to, we study this subject by using this technique, and then if it didn't work out, we try another technique. Now I think we have people who can help you how to tackle the exam. We have a session, I think all the tuition providers provide right now, which is very important, which is called the exam technique. Each paper has its own technique.
Yes.
And you need to be aware of this technique and how you can start, how you can plan your answer. So this is very important. At that time, this wasn't accessible, but I remember one of the resources that really helped me at that time, which I think very valuable resource, which was the Examiner Commons. The Examiner Commons is a very valuable resource that can help you pass the exam, because it gives you a summary of all the comments that the examiners have seen from all the students, or from the papers, right, from the students, right? It's a very valuable resource. It can tell you how the examiner thought the students answered this question, how they can be, more specific in their answers, what was the weak points that the students, faced in this question, and what was the strength, or what were the strength points that question, right? So I think the examiner comments helped me a lot in understanding how can I study the topic, how can I, plan for the exam, and how can I be, how can I pass the exams actually. So examiner comments was one of the valuable resource. But at that time, like we didn't have much people who can we ask for the experience, so we had to we had to figure out ourselves, right? But I would try to highlight the importance of the mentor. Because if I didn't have a mentor at that time, I may have, very big challenges. So this is one of the things that I would like to encourage all the students right now. Please look for a mentor from the ACCA community that can help you.
Yes.
And he will give you the experience, and this will, serve as a shortcut for you. So mentorship is one of the things that really helped me.
Yes.
At that time.
Very true. And the way you studied, was it online, face-to-face, blended?
Well, actually, tuition was very limited at that time, so we had to have the self-study. And I used to get the books, the study text, and the exam kit. And I used to study, through, self-study with my study text. So one of the things that helped me is to plan for your study. So how many chapters I have. So I have to do a plan. And at the end, I have to practice a lot. And if you ask me, what is the main reason for you to pass any of these subjects? I would say practice a lot. So if you have an overall time, I would say 60% practice, 40% study text. You have to spend great time practicing the exam. Yes, you can have the knowledge, that's 100% needed, and you need to exert a great effort in getting the knowledge, but at the same time you need to practice, and you need to continue practicing, and you need to know, first of all, you need to know what is the exam technique, how can I plan my answer for this exam, and then once you have the plan, practice a lot. Practicing is the key to the success.
When any students ask me what is the ingredient of success, I would tell them finish that kit.
Exactly.
Try
Finish.
your best to finish the kit
Finish
as
the
much.
kit. Finish the mock. Finish the past exams. All of these are, free resources on ACCA.
On
So
ACCA.
past exams, the mock exams, the examiner comments.
Yes.
3 free resources, but very valuable resources and essential to pass the exam.
And you highlighted a very important and yet underestimated source of information, which is the technical articles and the examiner comments. I remembered one student approached me saying, I'm continuously failing. I'm continuously failing. I told him, did you read the technical articles on the ACCA website? Did you read the examiner comments? He told me no, I have not read them. I told him the first thing you should do in your revision phase, go to the technical articles and read the examiner comments, because it is written in each exam, for each exam session that passed, the examiner question by question would write what were the weaknesses faced by students, what were the highlights that the students made in these answers, how was the time management. The examiner was able to identify if students were losing their time. It's a very important source of information, because the materials of ACCA are usually written by the publishers. The technical articles and the examiner comments are written by the examiner himself, by the examination team themselves. So you're really getting the source of info from the mouth of the lion. He's telling you what to do. So it is very important. Examiner comments is very important, and technical articles, because I remember when I was studying P5 at that time, which is Advanced Performance Management, there was a topic called EVA, Economic Value Added. In the textbook, it was half a page. It was maybe 2 paragraphs, half a page. And then I noticed when I went to the technical article, there was a recent article published by the examiner called also EVA. And that article, I've never seen such a huge article. That article was almost 20 to 30 pages. Very detailed, and I was surprised. In the textbook, it was just half a page. Thank God I read it. Thank God I read it, because in the exam session itself, I got a 15-mark question on EVA. And those who did not read the technical article, 15 marks were down in the gutter. So technical articles is very important, and I'm glad that you stressed on both the technical article and the examiner comments, because it's a huge source of info. So tell me, Andrew, when you were studying the ACCA, how were you able to manage studying and working at the same time, and working in a big four company like Deloitte?
Yes, in the first you have to do some sacrifices. So there are some, sacrifice for your free time, right? So free time, some people would think that, I would have to, be with my friends and have some fun. But in the beginning, that would not be accessible, right? So you have to do some sacrifices. So you have to plan for the time that you have, because, like you said, maybe we don't have a lot of time free. The weekends, actually, sometimes we work on the weekends as well. So it's always, you have to be mindful that whenever you have a free time, you should be mindful that I should spend this free time studying. I should try to maximize the benefit out of this free time. I used to have this thought. If I have a free time today, for example, today I have like 4 hours of free time, maybe tomorrow I wouldn't have this free time. Maybe tomorrow my schedule would be so busy that I wouldn't have the luxury of these 4 hours. So it is better to use these 4 hours today than wait for tomorrow, and then you discover that you don't have this free time available. So I know this could be one of the things that people would not accept, but you have to do some sacrifices. But I'm 100% sure if you do the sacrifice for your free time, you study, you practice a lot, you will see the returns in the future.
Yes, very true. And do you remember how many hours per day you would study, or how would you schedule your timings in the
It
week?
depends on the topic. It depends on the subject that we are studying, and that's why one of the things, like you mentioned, one of the most important things before you study, get to know the overall topic, the overall subject. Try to read like a very, like a summary of what's ahead. Try to understand the exam technique, because some exams would require a lot of calculations. So in that case, you need to practice a lot. You need to understand the topic, but spend most of your time practicing. Some other papers would require you to write, or in today you need to type, right? So you need to type a lot, right? So you need to have a lot of information. So you need to spend more time getting the information, and you spend some time trying to practice how you can apply this information on, or the theory that you have studied on a case. So each exam has its own unique way of studying. You cannot study all ACCA exams in the same manner. This is not the right thing to do. So that's why you need to understand how you can tackle the exam, what is the exam technique, and then you can plan your studies. This way, I would guarantee the success. And it depends from one person to another. Some people would like to practice, some people are very comfortable with numbers. So the practicing for them would be fun. It would not be a problem for them. Some other people would, like to write an essays, right? So they like to write a technical memo, for example. So they enjoy writing this, right? So studying the theory, applying this, writing, typing, that would not be a problem for them. So try to understand the exam technique, and then try to plan your time according to the needs of the exam. This is how can I, this is what I've done, and this is what I've learned, and this is what I continue to do actually till today.
I remember even prior to managing my time on how to study, definitely read the technical articles and examiner comments to give me that first head start in understanding the paper. And then I would always calculate the number of chapters based on the number of chapters. So for example, if I have 3 months, so before the exam, so I would say I would divide the number of chapters into 2 months, and try to finish in 2 months. And the last month prior to the exam, I would only dedicate it for past papers and technical articles. And of course, examiner comments. Again, even if I've read them at the beginning, but I'll make sure to read them at the end because it sets the mood. It informs me directly what the examiner is looking for. So I would always keep the last month prior to the exam, past papers, technical article, examiner comment, and all these info are already published free on the website. There are so many materials on the website. All you have to do is just browse. So I agree 100%. Managing per each subject, of course, understanding what the examiner is asking for, and managing your time in that scene.
I would add to your point is when I study the exam technique, I would know exactly sometimes there in some exams, there should be a question on a certain topic. This is something that should be there, right? It's part of the structure of the exam. So to your point, when I try to plan the chapters that I'm going to tackle, it would be good if I understand the exam technique, it would be good to focus on the chapters that I'm 100% sure that it would be part of the exam. And exert more effort on this, right? So that's why reading the technical articles, reading the examiner comments, understanding the exam technique and the exam structure should be done before you start studying. This would set up how you study, this will set up your plan, and this would be the main reason for your success.
A great point you mentioned is knowing the questions, knowing what will be asked. I remember when I was studying P2, which is SBR now, Strategic Business Reporting, there was always consolidation. You took it from my mouth. There was always consolidation. Even though we want to know 100% of the text, which is not possible. You cannot know 100% of the textbook. But even though we strive, I would always stress that, I didn't understand leases very well. I need to go back to leases. Even though leases could be just 5 marks. And consolidation could be 50 mark. And that's why you need to, exactly what you said, you need to concentrate on the topics that are always examinable, that always have a huge weight on the exam. Ignore the lease. If you're unable to understand, for example, a certain topic like leases or whatever the topic is, it will only be 5 marks, 10 marks. Do not risk a 50 mark topic like consolidation and goodwill. Do not risk it on a small topic. So knowing what will be examined and concentrating on that topic is a very important advice.
Always think as the time and the energy that you have as a limited resources. And you need to allocate these to the sections, I would say the sections that have the highest marks and the sections that you know that will be already there. It should be there in the exam. So this is how you should plan, or I would say this is what you have to plan for your time and energy to tackle these questions.
What's your life like prior to ACCA and post ACCA? How did the ACCA impact your career?
Post ACCA, I would see in myself a huge shift in the perspective. Different way of looking into things. This is the result of having this kind of information and kind of knowledge and kind of practice that the ACCA would offer for the students. It widens your perspective. It gives you, a deeper, I would say, deeper perspective, deeper meaning to the topics that we have, or I would say to the things that we see in our career. And for me, because I was really interested in the financial reporting, I'm really interested in the technical accounting and writing memos, ACCA helped me a lot in this. So because we have questions, we have this type of exams that depends on the calculations. So practicing this has helped me to level up my capabilities in doing calculations and being comfortable with numbers. And because also we have this type of exams that require you to write a lot, and you have to write in a logical sequence, and you have to make sure that the paragraphs are linked together, right? So all of this also helped me when I tried to write a technical memo. So I wouldn't imagine that I would do what I do right now without the ACCA. It helped me a lot in my career, gives me a new perspective, enhanced my skills, and most importantly, helped me to know which route I want to continue doing. And this is one of the things that ACC offers, because like you said, we have business, we have financial management, we have financial reporting, we have auditing, we have tax. So I think it's a very good opportunity for the students to know themselves through the ACCA exams. You know which exam that you like to, or which route you would like to continue. We were having a chat before this, and through the ACCA, you knew that you love tax, right?
Yes.
And that's why you started your career in taxes. Through ACCA, I've known that I've loved my financial reporting. And that's why I was really keen into getting into the technical accounting issues and trying to solve the complex accounting issues, as if, we see in the exam, we see a lot of cases, right? So we have a case, and this case has a complex accounting issue, and we need to work through the knowledge that we have on the accounting standard to solve this accounting issue. This is one of the things that really interests me, and this is one of the things that I want to do, and I choose to take the route, in the accounting and advisory and technical accounting, because I've known, or I knew through ACCA, that this is the thing that I love. So after ACCA, you would have a wider perspective, you would have practice a lot, and I think the most important thing, what route you should.
You remind me of a quote said by Oprah Winfrey when Trevor Noah, one of the interviewers, asked her that you have been interviewing many successful people, and what do they do? Like, what is the secret recipe? What do they do in becoming successful? How do they know to become successful? And Oprah Winfrey said the answer is in the question, because they know what they want to do.
Yes.
That's the reason why they're successful, because they know what you want to do. So unfortunately, many, actually the majority, don't know what they want to do. They go behind the flow. So even back in our discussions when we were talking about schools, most of the discussions would always be medical engineering. Rarely do you hear someone talk about commerce. Rarely do you hear someone talking about finance. And usually students would go to medical engineering because that is what is said back in the day. They didn't know what they wanted. So that is one of the most advantageous part of ACCA, is that it gives you a spectrum of all the topics. So you can know by yourself, without any pressure from external factors, which career you want to pursue. Like exactly what you said, when I studied tax, even though my initiative was for audit, I wanted to become an auditor, because usually that's also a myth about ACCA, that ACCA is only for accountants. ACCA is only for auditors. This is completely incorrect. We have 13 papers, so of course all 13 will not be about accounting. Accounting is not that of a huge field that 13 papers would be based on accounting. No, there's accounting, there is audit, there's tax, there's financial management, there's performance management, there is law, even there is law in ACCA. So when you study all these subjects, you see and discover by yourself which topic interests you the most to pursue a career in. So that's one of the greatest benefits of ACCA. And of course, now the role of an accountant changed.
Yep.
It's not only numbers. As you said earlier, there's now sustainable reporting. There is now climate change and how it affects your financial statement. So the role of the accountant has evolved. So an accountant needs to be aware of the tax. How can an accountant not know the tax? An accountant needs to be aware about the financial management, the forecast of an organization, the projections of the organization. Going concern in audit is a huge item in the audit, the going concern of a company. And how will you know the going concern of a company without the projections and the forecast and the budget? So the role of the accountant has evolved immensely in today's world, and it's very important for the accountant to know all these topics. They're not optional anymore for today's accountants and auditors. So
a great opportunity for the students, and not only to pass the exam, but to test themselves through the subjects. Which subject I like the most, and which subject I would like to pursue a career in. And because ACCA, like you mentioned, provide this variety of topics, it's a very good opportunity for the students to test themselves and to decide which route they should start.
yes, tell me about the proudest moment in your ACCA journey or in your career itself.
Well, actually, the proudest moment for my ACCA journey was when I was admitted as a member. To be honest, it's one of the proudest moments, and it's when I reflect back, when I've seen the certificate come in the mail, I was very happy, and it's like all of these years of hard work has started paying off, and being a member of this very respectful accounting body and very prestigious accounting body is a great, pleasure to me, and something that I'm really proud of. One of the things also that I would like to remind myself is, even though I'm a member, I still have the obligation for continuous learning. And ACCA helps in this, actually. Helps a lot. And like you mentioned, for example, we have this sustainability reporting now. It's one of its most important topics of these days, right? And ACCA offers a certificate in this one, in the sustainability reporting. And it's a very, very respectful certificate. I finished the first module, and it's a very, very knowledgeable, very, very excellent certificate. So ACCA is not only helping me to just become a member, but also helps me in my continuous education. And that's why every day when I start learning, I feel that I'm very proud of this. I'm very proud that I have this knowledge, and I'm very proud that I have this access to this knowledge that ACCA offers.
Yes, very true. And ACCA is one of the few organizations that even has an approved employer program where they partner with an employer to ensure that the members are always up to date with today's technology, with today's skills and today's knowledge, even goes to offering trainings and having on-ground events and inviting members and students to be aware of what's going on in the market and have market insights. And I believe the approved employer program is a very beneficial program because it helps the employers training the employees, whether ACCA or not.
Yes.
So even though we're not selfish, we not only concentrate on the ACCA members, but they also concentrate for the employees the size of the organization. So it is one of the, I have never heard of an approved employer program in another professional qualification.
It's very unique to the ACCA.
Very unique, and it shows how dedicated ACCA is to the community.
Yes.
Not only for ACCA members and students, but actually for the finance accounting community and how to strengthen that community. So it's a wonderful program, and I encourage all employers to reach out either to me or to the websites. Actually, all the details on the website, and the registration itself can be done on the website to gain access to this incredible program, and all that free of cost.
Of course.
Yeah, the program itself with all these benefits, it's free at cost because it truly is a partnership, and that's the most important part of it. So there's an interesting information about Andrew that we're going to find out today, that not only is he a member of the Syndicate of Accountants and Commerce, he's also a member of the Syndicate of the Professional Musicians.
I started playing music in 2005, and always loved the Oriental Middle Eastern music. So that's why I choose at that time I chose an Oriental instrument to start playing, which is l'oud. And I started playing in 2005, starting to learn, and oud has accompanied me in my journey. So music actually was one of the things that helped me a lot to become a better accountant or a better auditor. So, during the pressure times, it's usually a very good idea to close everything and start, playing some music. And this time, although it wouldn't be like a very big time, right? It could be like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, but this time is very valuable. It would, erase all the negativity, all the pressure, and it's like, making you a new person that can go again and start working or start studying. And, during the exam nights, this one was one of my rituals actually. So exam nights, I wouldn't do much of an effort on the exam nights. It's usually a very overview revision of the topic, going through some questions very quickly and spending time with own. Try to, remove all the pressure that I have, and it makes you concentrate. It makes you, it cleanses your mind.
Yes.
And it makes me, focus, concentrate on the exam that I have the next day. So it's one of the rituals that I had with my studies, and I continue playing this till now, so almost 20 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
When I was telling my mother I'm interviewing Andrew and he plays oud, he's like, I will interview Andrew. You sit at home, I'll interview, because she's a huge music lover. And oud is a very difficult instrument, and the fact that you love it, and I love how the way you interlink your passion for music with your career.
Exactly.
But when you told me about mentorship and about practicing and about creativity, if you can explain on that further, how do you interlink them with your career?
Well, actually, if you think about it, if I want to study music, I cannot study music by myself. I need a mentor. I need someone who can help me to, understand the instrument and understand how to play the instrument. And actually, in life, you need the same thing. In your career, in your ACCA journey, you need a mentor. You need someone who can help you with the experience that they have, and using this experience, you can navigate through your journey and navigate through your exams. So one of the things that I would urge all the students, please find a mentor that can help you navigate your ACCA journey, like in the same manner that if you want to learn a new sport or if you want to learn a new hobby, you would seek a mentor. So mentorship has been very great enabler for me for music, and also on the career journey that I had. Also, like you mentioned, music helps me a lot when it comes dealing with pressure. So it's something that I can use to, erase all the pressure, all the negativity, something that I can use to vent out all of the things that I've been working on. And, it helps me with my career. Some people would think that this is like, you're wasting your time. Actually, it's as important as the time that you exert on studying or working. You have to have some time for your mind. You have to have some time for your hobbies. This will help you through your journey. Will definitely help you. And like I told you, one of my exam rituals in the exam nights, that I would play music in order to make me concentrate in the next day. Related to practicing also, this is one of the things that music has taught me. You cannot play music, I would say you cannot be a good player without practicing. This is almost impossible. And you need to practice each day. So each day I would spend 45 minutes with my instrument, with my oud, practicing, just as practice. And the practicing that I would do is very basic practices. But these basic practices would help me. When these basic things accumulates, it helped me perform one of the most complicated pieces. And this is one of the things that also helped me in my career, in my journey. Sometimes, not all the time that you are going to face a very complex accounting issue, but maybe on a daily basis, you have to have knowledge of the basics that you need to work on, right? So don't underestimate that you need to always focus on the basics, because when these basics accumulate, it will help you when it comes to, facing a complex transaction or a complex accounting issue. In the music, nobody can say that I have reached to the limits of my instrument. Nobody says that, right? And if you heard this, someone says that, that this one is, on the road to fail, right? Nobody can say this. I think in accounting, in our profession, nobody can say that I've reached the limits. Each day there is something new. We have sustainability reporting, which a couple of years ago we didn't have the standards, right? So we have the standards right now. You need to be aware of what's happening. You need to be ready when these standards start, the entities start applying the standards, and we start seeing this disclosures in the financial statements. This is one of the things that ACCA offers, right? So it offers a continuous education, a continuous way to practice. And if you think about it, in the sports or in the music, you need to continue practicing in order to, to be able to, I would say, to lift to the next level. And last but not least, actually relates to the creativity, right? So sometimes when you have your time with your instrument or even with your sports, you want to be creative, you want to create new things, right? So yes, I would like to play some, music or some songs that people know, but sometimes I need to create my own music. And this kind of practicing the creativity, actually I would say it train your mind, it train your brain to be creative. And I have seen this in my career. So sometimes we have difficult situation. We have, for example, new accounting standards that we need to apply, and we have a huge scope what we are going to do. We need to find creative ways to apply this correctly to the huge scope that we have. So if your mind is being trained on being creative through music or even through sport or through any other hobby, that would definitely have a reflection on your career. So that's why I told you music helped me a lot with my career, has been a great enabler for me, and I cannot imagine my career without music, actually.
That's very interesting to hear and very informative. I have never heard of someone doing this significant link between your career and your hobby. You need to have a mentor. You need to practice. This applies either in your career or in learning a new skill. You have to be creative. And I loved when you said how music taught me to be creative in how to work and how to even answer the ACCA exam questions. Because even though in the materials you have the theory is there and you study the theory, but when how to apply it in the exam, because in the exam it will be case studies. So how do you apply the theory to the case study? So the creativity and linking that through music, I have never heard it before. So thank you, Andrew, for this advice. And my last question would be, is for someone who has not yet registered, or a student who's still starting their journey, what is the most important advice you would like to tell that student?
One of the most asked questions in Egypt now would be, what is the best investment? I have some money, I need to invest. What is the best investment? And usually we hear three answers, right? It's either gold, currency, or real estate. That's it.
Yes.
I would say the best investment is the investment in your education. This is the best investment. And the money that you're going to invest in your exams, in getting the study text and the study kit, this will have enormous impact on your career, and you will see the returns coming in your career. Definitely, this will happen. So I can relate to some students now who, because of the current economic situation, that exams could be a little bit burden on them, right? So because of the current economic situation. And I can relate to this. I started my career in 2008 in the middle of the financial crisis. And at that time, also we had some economic, burden. At that time, it was global. So it was very, challenging for us to register for the exams and get the study text, get the study kits. And, it also was a pressure for us. We need to pass the exam. We do not need, we can't afford, setting for another exam, right? But if I look for the past 15 years, I think this is the best investment that I have ever done in my life, the investment in education. So my advice to all of the students currently who are facing some economic challenges because of the, of the current situation that we have in Egypt, please hold on. Please continue. Do this. This is the most valuable investment. The investment that you're going to do in yourself, the investment in the education, this is the most valuable investment. Please do this. Continue do this. 100% sure that you will not regret this investment.
Yes.
And you will see returns, not only, packages, but you will see huge development in your personality that will enable you to take, leaps in your career. And this also applies to the people who are thinking about this. So, and that's why, I want people to have a mentor, right? So when you see someone who has finished, the exams, and you want to see that I would like to be like this person, and this has happened to me. This was one of the reasons why I enrolled in ACCA, because I've seen a mentor, great person, and I wanted to be like him. So that's why you have to engage with ACCA members. You have to be part of the ACCA community. I encourage everyone to, to follow all the events that ACCA will have in Egypt, and, go get connected to people, get to know their experiences, get to see the most successful people in Egypt who are part of this ACCA community, and get inspired by them and to continue doing this. So this is the best investment that you will have in your life, and get connected to people and get inspired by their experiences.
I couldn't agree more, and also in Egypt especially, because of the mentorship and because we want to ensure that students are getting the best experience through studying, we even have approved learning partners. Both of them, either WAG Academy or Nearshore Academy, both are trusted, approved learning partners by ACCA, and because there's a direct communication between them and the ACCA office, we're able to support even the students through them. We're even able to support, whether it's in program, whether it's in training, whether it's in financial, we even go far as to giving financial incentives. So having that connection, the fact that you're connected directly to the body, directly to the global body, gives a huge edge and also increases your chances of getting proper mentorship, either through the instructors of the learning partners or through ACCA itself. So it's very important, the mentorship, and that education is the best investment in yourself. I agree completely, especially investing yourself in the most relevant qualification, because unfortunately many students, they would take the easy route and take another certificate which could be shorter, just for the sake of having a certificate. But when you have a long-term vision, you will notice that this shortcut will not benefit your life journey, because at the end of the day, your career is for life. You're not working for 1 to 2 years, you're most probably working for 40 years. Yes. So you need to be very careful in choosing which professional qualification you want to pursue your career in, because we're not talking about 1-2 years, we're talking about the rest of your life. So do not be tempted by smaller certificates. Do not be tempted by certificates that are just one paper, certificates that are 2 or 3 papers. If it's your passion, then that's a different matter.
Yeah.
But if you're taking this certificate just for the sake that it's a shorter certificate and you'll have an edge, no, you're actually doing the trick of the hare versus the tortoise. You ran, yes, half the journey, but you slept, and the tortoise reached its destination. So yes, the ACCA is a longer qualification, but it has a much higher, longer impact in your personal life and professional life, because it's 13 papers, so it's a proper investment in yourself, it's a proper investment in your knowledge, it's a proper investment in your skills and expertise that you can use in real life. And the value is not just short term, the value is for the rest of your career. So it is very important to choose wisely. Do not be tempted by the hours or the subjects or even the price. Do not be tempted, because at the end of the day, this is your future. And you want to make sure that you're investing correctly in your future. I would like to thank you, Andrew, very much for your time and for your valuable advice. And I would love to end it on the most musical way. And I would leave Andrew to his instrument. That's a very complicated instrument, but you can see how his love for oud has changed his life for the positive, how it impacted his career, and how he was able to link his hobby in pursuing his professionalism and his career path in the future. So thank you very much, Andrew, for your time.
Thank you very much.
It was lovely meeting you, and for those who don't know, it was lovely even working together back in the day. So we're actually colleagues, and I would leave you to your hobby.
Thank you. Thank you very much.